The best in poker news, entertainment, and more. This is the Mark Hoke Show.
All right, everybody, how are we doing today? We are live here at Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open main event. People are talking, to say the least. It has been a good 12 hours, 20 hours or so of action to what is taking place here at Seminole Hard Rock. Of course, $10 million guarantee not met and missed it by a lot. $2.5 million added to this prize pool today. And wow, I mean, the reaction across the poker universe has been interesting to say the least. I've gotten a chance to talk to a lot of different people about their thoughts about this. And it looks like the players are going to be going on break here very shortly. Of course, we were underway at noon today, and everybody's getting up and headed for the door. So I'll give us a chance to say hi to everybody and, step up the volume a little bit so we don't disturb everybody. But we already have two world champions down today talking about the play. Joe Cotta is out. We also lost Ryan Reese, who lost kings to aces. So a tough day for those gentlemen, as we're actually getting very close to the money here, too. 300 players getting paid this afternoon, and we are at 340. So the money is... we're soon going to start hearing those payouts getting screamed out. Tournament staff getting ready to roll on that, I'm sure, within a couple of levels here after the break. Wow, but what an unbelievable day. A couple of days here at the Seminole Hard Rock. Of course, one of the premier poker venues in the country, but what went wrong? I think, we talked about it a little bit last night, had a couple of guests calling into the show and, giving their opinions. And, I did an informal survey last night talking to everybody about what they thought were the main issues here at Seminole Hard Rock in terms of this guarantee not being met. Of course, last year crushed it. We had 2,500 entries. You need 2,000 hit with a $5,300 buy-in to hit that magical $10 million number. But just didn't happen this time around. So why, I think, is going to be a question on everybody's minds. I really haven't seen many people out there ripping the Hard Rock, per se, because I think we all know this event is a very important event to the poker calendar. And, people want this thing to succeed. You have a $10 million guarantee. You don't want to see something like that come off the poker calendar. So what needs to be done to correct this? And, gotten a ton of opinions. We'll talk about that, as well as we'd love to hear your opinions, too. If you want to give us a call, it's 702-997-3015. That'll get you on the air. And, we can certainly discuss it. Like I said, I've gotten a lot of different viewpoints from people, and we will get into those in a little bit. I also want to break down who is at least alive going into today, but we have lost a lot of players. I mean, this has just been nuts. Of course, the winner's walking out here with $1.4+ million, so that's not a bad payday for anybody. And two new millionaires will be crowned today, so pretty exciting stuff. And of course, while we're leading off the show, I want to thank all of our great sponsors. Of course, first, thanks to Seminole Hard Rock and Poker Open team, as they've done a fantastic job taking care of us here. And of course, the blog team have been outstanding. I was part of that for part of the week, filling in while they had a little gap in the schedule. And if you want to follow everything happening at the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open, go to shrpo.com. And you can get live updates, some great videos. There's one on there with a grinder, and I believe it's a Ferrari. Not bad stuff. So check it out, shrpo.com. Of course, headlined by the unbelievable blogging, writing superstar of poker, Al Canhang. Man, and I tell you, Al is going to need a few beers after this thing's all over. They have been working him like crazy. He's done an amazing job here at Seminole Hard Rock. Hey, but we got to, kind of like to introduce the cast of players that we have nearby. I mean, just a ton of them sitting in front of us. But, of course, Russell Thomas was here. Will Fialo right in front of us. David Williams playing right in front of us, and so many others came down to play this thing. And some faces missing, but certainly, I don't know. We'll get into it a little bit. Also, of course, want to thank our good friends Blind Squirrel Apparel. Make sure you go to blindsquirrelapparel.com, 20% off with the code HOKE at blindsquirrelapparel.com. Look good and be lucky, Blind Squirrel Apparel. Football season underway, and I tell you what, you might need some help navigating some of those tight games that people didn't expect yesterday. Double Digit Covers is here for you. Of course, NFL kicking off next weekend. Some great packages they have available for you if you want to deal with Tony Dose, the all-star handicapping team, and the best sports consultants in the business. Go to doubledigitcovers.com, 855-489-2700. It's 855-489-2700. You can go to doubledigitcovers.com and get your name on a list to get a free winner sent to your phone every day at doubledigitcovers.com. Our good friends at BlueRail.net, host of our website. How far do you want to go? Well, just call Bob and he'll get you there. Give him a call at 522, 522-820-5128. It's 522-820-5128. They'll even host for $9 a month. What a deal. Just tell them Mark Hoke Show sent you. We have a great book, Poker Tilt by Dutch Boyd. Make sure you go to pokertilt.com. Pick that up today. You can also get it on Amazon as well. A must-read for everybody in the poker world and beyond. It is some great life lessons in there. Check it out at pokertilt.com. Good friends in Nevada Poker League. Make sure you go to nevadapokerleague.com. $50,000 in cash and prizes, all for free. 17-plus locations in Las Vegas. Check it out at nevadapokerleague.com. All right. And, of course, for those of you maybe new to the show, we are on live on KLAV1230am.com in Las Vegas. Also can catch us on the internet at KLAV1230am.com there. And, of course, replayed on Friday night at 9 p.m. So join us on KLAV1230am.com. Pretty good stuff there. We've had some amazing shows and more on the way. And especially after this is going to be an event that the poker community is going to be talking about for a very, very long time. All right, so let's get into what has been going on so far today, where things started, and where they stand at the moment. We had 1,499 entries, of course, 501 entries short of the $10 million guarantee, which made a complete prize pool of $10 million. I know there were a couple people out there that were making comments about how, well, the Seminole's going to find a way out of it, and that is not the way these guys work. I told you that, honest to God truth, and that's the way it stood. So the payouts are structured accordingly. That $10 million guarantee, so all that money, including that $2.5 million overlay, is going out the door. 478 players started today. And believe it or not, we have already lost 138 players since play opened up this afternoon. We are down to 340, so we're getting close to the money. Probably should happen today. Be surprised if it didn't. So we're looking at average chip stack of 94,000 to start this afternoon. And when you get into those chip counts to start the afternoon, of course, more going on. Let me pull those for you. Your chip leaders going in today, of course, Jared Jaffe, who won a bracelet earlier this year, got his first one. He came in today as the chip leader, 462,800 in chips, and there's a lot of people are chasing Jared as he had nearly 100,000 chip lead on the rest of the field going into today. David Farber at Heathrow, Florida, second, 364,100. Followed by Oleg Titov at 343,500. Sujay Dalal, who came in top chip stack in day 1B, 302,200 chips. Robert Park out of Lilburn, Georgia, 292,900. And David Williams, of course, we just saw he's actually playing the table right across from us. David bagging some big chips. 276,600 for him. Ben Lamb started day 275.7. John Dolan 272.9. Sean Kunix, who won a WPT event at Jacksonville recently, 270,100. Roderick Bolig at Longwood, Florida, 263,100. Joe Kuther at 262.2. Marvin Rettenmeyer comes into this one with 256,500 in chips. Some other notables in that top group, Dan Wyman, who already has won a tournament here in this Seminole Hard Rock Poker Series and got a third place in the charity event as well. Dan started the day off at 231,100. And then checking out some of the other notables here. And we'll have to back this up. Give me 1 second. It's coming. It's coming. Swear to God. Here we go. Let's see. There we go. Eric Paniagatu at 254,000. Mike Leah, 213,600. Kevin Schaffel starting off today at 208.7. Uncle Kronk in there, 198, 190,300. Dan Hughes at 194,800. Joe Srock, 187,500. John Racner, 187. Brian Hastings, 184. And, of course, we want to look at what were the table assignments, but I guarantee they've pretty much been destroyed at this point. They're all available at SeminoleHardRockPokerOpen.com if you would like to check all that out. And, of course, so much happening down here, and it is going fast and furious, as the kids like to say. Looks like the term staff doing a color up right now. Getting a bunch of, or at least getting some chips out of the way here. Make this a little bit easier for everybody. But what an unbelievable situation here at the Seminole Hard Rock. And, a lot of speculation as to what happened. Why did this tournament, which was so successful last year, come up $2.5 million short on an overlay? Ask a few people out there on Facebook and Twitter. Got some silly answers and got some good ones too. Let me swing over here to Twitter. I know there were some sarcastic ones that came through for sure, but of course some people saying they don't like value. Some of the people mentioned, of course, we had Alan Kessler saying that, because of scheduling, and he actually said the field was too hard. I've got to disagree with that, because I can tell you, people like Matt Affleck, Chino Ream, and many others have stated pretty emphatically that this is one of the softest 5K events that they've ever seen here or they've ever played in. So I'm not necessarily going to buy it. I think, it was a pretty tough field last year, but, you have a lot of players in here, somewhat inexperienced, and certainly not what a lot of people are considering to be one of the hardest fields out there. And I think you can kind of see that to a point. I mean, like I said, we're down to 340 here. These players just coming back in from break. So just like that, we've wiped out a ton of players here and are 40 away from the money here in the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open. So not so sure on that one. Did get a couple other interesting comments here. I know, 1 second here. I know, some people said, say they're busy. Marguerite Spagnuolo had something going on, and, it's Labor Day weekend. So that may have played a factor into this. Justin Oliver said on Facebook, too close to Legends and had to choose one, went with WPT. So that, and also LA closer to Vegas. So that certainly, weighed in. And that, I think, the scheduling factor, certainly a major one in this. I really think it's probably the number one factor in what happened here. You're looking at so many things going on in the poker world with just finishing up the EPT Barcelona. And, hey, you want to come on the show for 1 second? You want to come on my show for 1 second here? We got to gloat. I know you got 1 minute. I give you 30 seconds because I'm gonna interrupt my talk about this overlay real quick. Because our Bison just stomped the hell out of Iowa State. Yeah.
Well, we were down 14-0, looked a little worrisome, but the winning percentage of the FBS schools are like 83% in the last 30 years. The Bison are 8-3. We should have beat Wyoming.
Yeah.
And we should have beat Minnesota, missed short field. We should have been 10-1.
Yeah, I missed that field goal too.
And I mean, the amazing thing is we annihilated them physically. Yes. Down 14-0. Of course, they had some injuries, but hey,
it was sexy.
Montana hung in there against Wyoming, had them at halftime.
Yep.
Our old coach Bowles at Wyoming.
Yep.
And we play Montana in a month.
That's going to be fun. What's your name, by the way? I didn't
Tom McCormick.
Tom, pleased to meet you, and hail the Bison, baby.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Arizona State was 52 over Weber State, only beat them by 32. We play Weber State, and then we play Montana, and then we can compare the scores against that University 80 miles to the north.
And we're playing them next year.
Flicker Tails. They're no longer the Sioux,
yes.
but they were the Flicker Tails till 30. Why not name them the Flickin' Flicker Tails instead of the Fighting Sioux?
That works for me. We're really excited about Bison football here. Josh, what's up? So we do have a Bison fan in the house. Tom was over. I'm glad we got him over here, and pleasure to meet Tom McCormick there. Sporting the Bison hat yesterday. Yeah, that did happen. That definitely happened. The Bison with the big win. Anyway, sorry, it's live. We gotta take the opportunities when we get them. I see Jake's in the chat box. Good to see you, Jake 300. Also, some of our guests. Other guests in there. Hey, if you want to get into that chat box, feel free to do so. Just go to ustream.tv and hop in and say hi to us. So we'd love to have your interaction. Of course, the phone line is open as well, and we'll put that number up on the screen, 702-997-3015. It's 702-997-3015. Give us a call. Let's hear what you think. I know some other, a lot of other opinions came in too, and some things that I was thinking about. And, I'd love to check on this and, asking around a little bit. Some people did confirm this to me, that the other Hard Rock properties really didn't support this event very well. So, that's got to be a factor. You would think that, the Hard Rock property, other Hard Rock casinos would have been running a lot of satellites to help accommodate this. So that was one point that was definitely brought up. And certainly, that's in there too. I don't know. I don't know if, of course it was a WPT event the last time around. I don't know if that had a lot of effect. Certainly, you get that label and you get that extra marketing behind it from the World Poker Tour. But, of course, really a $10 million guarantee. I mean, anybody, as long as you have a reputable schedule and structure, it's really shouldn't have been that much of a factor. I do know, let's see, and I'm just looking through some of the other notes that I had. And this was a pretty good one that was brought up. Some people did say that the hotel rooms in the area were pretty expensive. Very difficult to stay on property, and when you can't, it's tough to stay on property. You end up having other expenses, rental cars, and extra time, and that taking that convenience away certainly didn't help. So that may have been an issue here as well. Probably need to have a little better utilization of PokerStars in there too. And of course it's not cheap. It's it's a $5,300 tournament, and just coming off the World Series, and players playing EPT, WPT Legends, and other series, and of course the WinStar being here on the same running at the same time certainly did not help the situation either. There's like I said, there's a lot of different viewpoints on this. You see Jake in the chat box saying, I'd be curious to know, as compared to last year, what Sats live and online were running. And to me, it's a combination of scheduling, not being a WPT, and players growing in education about reentries. Well, that's three different really good points, Jake. Of course, talking about satellites, like I said, we mentioned, maybe there wasn't enough support here from the rest of the Hard Rock properties, around the country and the world to get more people into this thing. Maybe there was just a little bit of thought that, if you build it, they'll come. And, and I know the marketing team here. I mean, they're fantastic. Maybe there was, a little bit taken for granted in terms of satellites getting run into this event. Not being a WPT, like I said, I don't, I don't think that with the reputation of the property that it was necessarily had to be a WPT event. Certainly, like I said, the World Poker Tour does bring a lot to the table. But at the same time, I know that some places have gotten away from WPTs. And, and this isn't a slam of the WPT or anything, but to have the World Poker Tour come to your facility, it costs money. They don't just show up and, put up WPT stuff and bring their whole staff out here for nothing. So, to any facility. So I'm not necessarily sure the WPT is that big of a factor. I think it definitely, could have hurt a little bit. But I do like that point, and that's the first time I heard that about players growing in education about reentries. And obviously, we had Matt Savage come out in an op-ed piece saying that he wasn't, he kind of regrets to a point introducing the reentry tournament that has been changed from getting in once day one, once day two, or once on day 1A and B and so on. So I think people have started to realize to a point that when you have an unlimited reentry, it can be it's a bankroll breaker. Some amateurs are intimidated by that because pros with deep pockets certainly can fire 5, 6, 7, 10 bullets, whatever they want to do, and not sweat it. So that certainly does play a factor. Looking at Jake saying even said it was hard because you had the 1 month-ish break from the end of WSOP, WPT, EPT seasons. A lot of live satellites gearing to EPT mainly. So yeah, I do think that I think that maybe it was a little too close. Of course, the one thing is you got to remember they did the same thing last year. It was around the same time, so I think it was pretty tough. I know that they moved here to accommodate the EPT main event. The bike actually changed their schedule because of this event. So, it all compiled on itself, and WinStar was still out there, and that tournament has done well. It's obviously not as, big a tournament, not as big a name tournament, but, it was still pretty successful. So, and Jake also in the chat box saying $100K for doing WPT, $100K for the name, up to $250K for a full package. Yeah, so it's not cheap bringing that in, and if that was the one factor, I'm sure they'd trade the $250K for the taking the $2.5 million hit. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, sorry, Jake. That's unfortunate on thing on Ustream there with the commercials popping in every once in a while. But yeah, it's I don't know if that was it. Like I said, I think the main issue to a point was scheduling. It's just too much going on this weekend. But one thing that people don't realize for a lot of these major tours, if you heard Neil Johnson from PokerStars on a couple of days ago, he mentioned the fact that a lot of the EPT events don't have anywhere near as flexible scheduling as some here in the United States. Even though this one is scheduled about a year in advance, the next weekend was booked here in the ballroom, so there really wasn't much play in terms of where they could have put this event without seriously postponing it. And then of course, you do have a competition factor here too. I mean, everybody wants their, we all want the events to succeed, but the bottom line is that each event has to watch out for themselves and make money. So a pretty, everybody saying, hey, you know what, we don't want to screw each other. So they did talk, but, but certainly when it comes down to it, just like it is in the poker community, it's every man for himself. Yeah, so just a fascinating story here of what's been going on at at this event, and what ramifications this has for the future. And speaking of that, let's take a break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about that a little bit. Where do we go from here? What can be done to make sure that things like this don't happen again? Because we certainly don't want to lose any events on the poker calendar. So let's step back and take a break, and we'll be right back here on the Mark Hoke Show. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Poker players, it's time to check out DeegePoker.com. Deej Poker is the unique and clever choice for a new generation of true grinders, representing the full spectrum of poker players from the novice to the world champion. A true Deej player gives their heart and soul for countless hours at the table to be the best. And Deej Poker Apparel shows everyone who you really are, on and off the felt. So join the new generation at DeegePoker.com. That's DEEG Poker.com. Deej Poker, the world's newest poker apparel store.
I'm Dutch Boyd, two-time WSOP bracelet winner, and I want to share my story with you. 12 years as a pro has taught me a lot. For the last year, I've boiled it all down into a tell-all book, 90,000 words. In Poker Tilt, I take you on my journey through all the ups and downs that poker has to offer, all the manic highs and hellish lows of every bad beat and lucky draw. So go to www.pokertilt.com to read more, or just go buy the new book on Amazon or Kindle. Right now, pokertilt.com. I guarantee you'll enjoy the ride.
Your business and promotion will only go as far as your website will take you. That's why the Mark Hoke Show has only trusted one name for over 2 years, BlueRail.net. Whether you need custom website design and development packages, or simply need a host for your website, Blue Rail is the only developer to turn to. It's time to discover the world-class personalized service only the Blue Rail team can provide. Visit us at BlueRail.net and call 520-822-5128 right now for your free consultation today. So get on board at BlueRail.net. How far do you want to go?
Sports bettors, tired of getting beat every week at your sportsbook? It's time to stop guessing and start winning. We all know cash is king, and it's time to let the team at Double Digit Covers come to the rescue to help you get the positive cash flow you need to live the life you've always dreamed about. Tony Dos and his all-star sports handicapping team will be in your corner to help you beat the point spread, bring excitement and winning to your betting experience, and build your bankroll to levels you never thought possible. Get free winning sports information at DoubleDigitCovers.com. Stop guessing and start winning today at DoubleDigitCovers.com.
Call now for today's free winner. 1-855-489-2700. That's 1-855-489-2700.
One man, his lucky shirt, an unforgettable night, and a winning streak that never seemed to end. That's how Blind Squirrel began, and we haven't looked back since. We make the clothes that we want to wear for the places where we want to look and feel our best. The game, the speakeasy, and the casino floor. Blind Squirrel's small batch, high-quality gear is for people too busy grabbing life by the nuts to bother with crappy, ill-fitting clothing. Because like you, we prefer our nights long, our drinks strong, and our lucky shirt to be our most comfortable. So look good, be lucky, and visit BlindSquirrelApparel.com for your new favorite shirt. As an added bonus, you'll receive 20% off your purchase with the promo code HOKE, H-O-K-E. You can also pick up Blind Squirrel apparel at the Borgata in Atlantic City and in Las Vegas at all Masura stores at Mandalay Bay, Monte Carlo, The Mirage, and MGM Grand. Look good and be lucky with Blind Squirrel Apparel.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Then follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show and like our Facebook page at The Mark Hoke Show for show news and outstanding poker content from around the world. Plus, enjoy the show anytime by subscribing to our podcasts on iTunes or at markhokeshow.podbean.com. We're even on your mobile phone at markhokeshow.podbean.com/mobile. Thanks for listening and being a part of The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, let's return to the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we're back live here on the Mark Hoke Show. Coming to you from the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open in Hollywood, Florida. Main event here going on. One that I'm sure is going to have an outstanding finish. Of course, it'll be live streamed. Coming up with that, the main event and the Super High Roll on Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to seeing the Poker Stars team coming in. Joe Stapleton and the guys going to be showing up and doing their thing. So that should be a pretty cool, nice little twist to this. So looking forward to having some great live stream action coming up here to finish the series out. But man, $100,000 Super High Roller. Who's going to be playing in that one? Will be, of course, I know they have, as of yesterday, 16 people for sure entered. And then, of course, a lot of guys going to be waiting to see what happens in this one as the players start rolling. Yeah, Jake, the thing that, that rejoiner runs for a little while. It's all good. By the way, I just want to say this. Yeah, the Ustream bot's not in here. I can say this. There's a great program called Ad Blocker. Look it up. And I'm just going to leave it at that. Ad Blocker. It's a great program. For example, if you're, you have sites that like to do pop-ups, it blocks them. It blocks advertisements. Okay, so just thought I'd mention that. Anyway, but of course now, where does this go from here? What do we, what does the poker community do to respond to this? Because, I'm sure that, obviously there's going to be some people taking a hard look at things here at the Seminole Hard Rock here in Hollywood, Florida. But what else does the rest of the poker community see this? Because obviously this is something that if you're going to take a hard look at that, we're certainly, if it can happen here, it can happen anywhere. So what changes need to be made in terms of setting this thing up? And I think one very interesting issue is, do we start having poker rooms forming an organization to try and balance these schedules out a little bit? I can tell you for one example, when I coached volleyball in Pennsylvania, we had the USA Volleyball has different sanctioning bodies for each area, and one thing that they were tasked to do was to sanction tournaments. So as people would try to get their tournaments set up and running and get certain dates, there were always a couple that were reserved on the calendar because they were huge tournaments, national qualifiers and things like that. But do we get to the point where we need to have some sort of sanctioning body in different areas of the world to make sure that these things don't happen? And one thing that happened in volleyball for USA Volleyball was that they would take a very good look at not only the schedules within their region, but also any major events outside the region too, because obviously there are tournaments where a lot of traveling teams would, seriously good traveling teams would want to go outside the region to play in national qualifiers and other big tournaments. So, do we have to get to the point now where these guys we're going to have to come up with some sort of loose governing body to make sure that things like this don't happen? And of course, the same thing with the players. Do we need to get some sort of organization together to try and help the players out too? Obviously, they don't want this to happen either. I mean, at the moment, it's great. It's a $2.5 million overlay, but long haul, this is something that could have ramifications in terms of people creating tournaments, how they schedule things, and take money out of the poker because they don't want to see this happen. I'm looking at Jake here in the chat box. I've been trying many of the TDs get together each year, try to coordinate things. Start usually, and that's the thing. Starts usually just does what it wants to do, and as it runs almost. Stars usually just does what it wants, though, as it runs almost major and second tier only WPPT party is not affected by them. WSOP is still very stars focused. Yeah, it's and I do understand the tournament directors do get together. And of course, you have the TDA out there. Some people like, some people don't. But I think that everybody's going to have to take a harder look at this. Certainly, like I said, there's some that are bulletproof. Like the World Series of Poker, obviously, but man, would it hurt to have a sit down? Would it hurt to have a group of people getting in the room together and planning this stuff out? Obviously, I said some events are booked years in advance, but man, you're making it really tough on the players too, and I think there's got to be some player input when you look at these kind of things. It's always been a very loose organization in poker between what the players are doing, what the casinos are doing. But maybe it's time for everybody to kind of take a look at the bigger picture here, get things coordinated a little bit more. So, that's definitely a possibility. Because this is just not good for anyone. It's not good for the Seminole Hard Rock. Temporarily good for the players, but long haul, it's going to scare a lot of people. And it's one of those things that there may be a little bit of a backlash on this. What are you working on over there? Felix from All In Magazine. What are we ordering? Are we getting pizza? Subs? Actually, I'm good, but thank you. Oh, he's trying to tempt me. You really are. Oh, it's on the company. Oh, well, of course then. Yeah, I'll stock one up. Yeah, well, I don't know. What do we have there? I know this is an interesting little discussion to have on the air. Yeah, we're looking at ordering subs here because a lot of us have been eating in the EDC here, which has been a great courtesy. But you kind of have to get away from the EDC every once in a while. That deluxe looks awfully good. A small deluxe will be fine. Oil, vinegar, mayo, and honey mustard. Winner. Yeah, you asked me to order a sub. It's usually not a good experience. Ask my wife. Jake also in the chat box saying, personally, I think there'll be some consolidation. WPT is pushing its WPT National Tour of deep stacks. EPT is holding steady but increasing the offering. But the schedule is too packed financially. It's not stable, so we'll have to reduce down. Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. I think we're seeing so many poker tours out there. Obviously, every room wants to have good events. So there's a battle going on out there, and the strong are going to survive. But I don't know in terms of like when you look at something like blind structures, for example, we're getting to the point where it's really getting nitpicky on what's a good blind structure, what isn't, and is what is necessarily good for the players. Is that necessarily good for actually running the tournament? Can blind structures be too good? I think that's a possibility. I think we could, you may see, oh, this is a great structure, this is amazing, but I've seen some really good blind structures that have resulted in disasters at the end of a tournament. Epic Poker League Event 3 would be one that I saw firsthand, where we got three-handed and it was just ridiculous how deep everybody was. So it's there's a balance to be struck between what's good for the players, what's good for the casinos, and I think everybody's got to realize that. Oh, no tomato on mine either. Sorry. Thank you. And Jake, putting out there, StarZone's EPT, UK IPT, ANZPT. Yeah, and there's a ton of Stars events going on for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if there's any easy answer, but the one big issue is can the poker community come together to agree on something that's going to be good for everyone? Can they do it? I don't know. Really don't. Felix is putting the order. Maybe Felix Stone from All In Magazine wants to come on the show then after he's done. He looks a little scared, but I'd love to get your opinion on this. This is such an interesting topic on where we're going to go with all this. By the way, as for the tournament, we're starting to see more tables getting broken down, and we're almost in the money, by the way. 315. They're dropping like flies around here. What's going on? Pain, blues, and agony here in the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open. So we're 15 away from the money already today. It's pretty nuts. So, I don't know. We that tournament discretion and down to 18. I have a feeling we may be reaching that 18 point a little sooner than everybody expected. But of course, that the wall is coming at some point where everything totally slows down. But it's certainly not going to be for the next few blind levels. As of course, it looks like we're going to be hitting the money. Plus, then of course, when everybody's in the money, it's time to start taking your short stack and going for the coin flips. So should be a very interesting next couple hours here at the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open. As we're looking for more and more players getting excited about trying to bring home this cash in a massive, massive payday. Should be pretty cool. Let me see if I can find the payout chart here real quick. I think I did have that up on my Twitter here. So bear with me for a second as we'll take a look at the payouts here. I'm just looking at looking to see also any more social media reaction out there. That's what's been going on, and some other tweets here too. Of course, you can see right over my shoulder at SHRPO and hashtag SHRPO. We're watching those feeds as well. Stuart Newman, ST Newman, is up to 160 as he hit the break. Juice Money 24, RJ is at the 135. Vinny Pahuja stayed alive. He had looks like I guess he had queens and picked that one up. He is at 60K. Angel Vu at Angel VUFL is back to 85,000. Paul Balzano 101. John Holly is at 93. Jessica Dolly at 110. This is some of the Twitters we have coming in. Natasha Barber, she has reached 140K. Yeah, so a lot of different chip stacks coming in, pretty interesting as well. Tristan Wade is went down to 93K on this one. Tony Sinistage at 159. Blair Hinkle is at 230, trying to defend his title. Could you imagine if Blair Hinkle won this title again? Oh, that would be sickening. Michael Ortiz is up to 413,000. Love this tweet, by the way. That is at IB. Looks like IB tit all in. Okay. 400 says 413K running well and playing great. Who am I kidding? Just running pure. Hashtag SHRPO. Hashtag overlays. That's not bad. Greg Merson at 55K. One of the 3 world champions still in this field as Merson, Huckseed, and Carlos Mortensen still alive in this one. Blake Bond is at 280 and telling everybody not to tell anyone about it. So we're very happy to announce on worldwide show that Blake Bond is at 280,000. Sorry, Blake. Lily Coletto at 160. Makul Pahuja is out. He has gone down. Brian Hastings listed at last tweet at 220. There's a lot of players reporting in here on Twitter and at SHRPO and hashtag SHRPO. Oh my goodness! I tell you what a scene here at the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open main event. Right now, 315 players remaining. We're at level 16. 32 minutes left on this level. And right now we're looking for, want to pull the prize pool. If I could have sworn I had a link to that. Bear with me for a second, see if I got it. Unfortunately, I don't have it handy. But, of course, winner's getting $1,446,710. Second place picking up $1,047,638. That will buy you a lot of Iowa State Cyclone season tickets. wow. I mean, once again, of course, we're hanging out here at Seminole Hard Rock with tables starting to break in front of us, and that's always one of the more exciting parts of the tournament. You see things starting to whittle down a little bit, and the first row of tables right in front of us is starting to clear out. There's about 5 of them gone right now. In front of us, Jason Mercier on table here with Russell Thomas. They're playing out, and that's going to be the next table to break. So I'm sure those guys are going to be, a lot of players will be pretty excited about that at the table. Also, had some other interesting table draws as well today, and some people probably not real happy about it. We had a table with Matt Glantz, Doug Polk, Huckseed, and Kevin Schaffel. That's not good. Another one, Greg Merson, Chino Ream, and Simon Deadman. So this is going to be a really exciting, some exciting matchups are going to come through as we progress through this main event. Of course, everybody still watching the clock or watching the big board right now as we are at 3:15. And of course, we may, depending on how things go, we'll see if we can hang on until we get to the money. But the tournament, that number hasn't been changed for a little bit. So tournament directors, of course, walking around, keep an eye on things, collecting seat cards and trying to keep track of this. Because obviously don't want to have a mistake at the bubble. But it was a tough enough day yesterday without something like that happening. And of course, once again, we are live here, Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open main event. And once again, I'm just looking for the payouts right now. And I'll tell you what I think we're going to do. Let's step back and get one more break in here as we get close to the money. Once again, everybody's just kind of checking and seeing what's going on here. Is once again listed at 315. We'll see if that number's down a little bit. But let's step away one more time, and we'll be right back here on the Mark Hoke Show. Thanks for being with us here live. Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open main event.
Poker players, it's time to check out DeegePoker.com. Deej Poker is the unique and clever choice for a new generation of true grinders, representing the full spectrum of poker players from the novice to the world champion. A true Deej player gives their heart and soul for countless hours at the table to be the best. And Deej Poker Apparel shows everyone who you really are, on and off the felt. So join the new generation at DeegePoker.com. That's DeegPoker.com. Deej Poker, the world's newest poker apparel store.
I'm Dutch Boyd, two-time WSOP bracelet winner, and I want to share my story with you. 12 years as a pro has taught me a lot. For the last year, I've boiled it all down into a tell-all book, 90,000 words. In Poker Tilt, I take you on my journey through all the ups and downs that poker has to offer, all the manic highs and hellish lows of every bad beat and lucky draw. So go to www.pokertilt.com to read more, or just go buy the new book on Amazon or Kindle right now, pokertilt.com. I guarantee you'll enjoy the ride.
Your business and promotion will only go as far as your website will take you. That's why the Mark Hoke Show has only trusted one name for over 2 years, BlueRail.net. Whether you need custom website design and development packages, or simply need a host for your website, Blue Rail is the only developer to turn to. It's time to discover the world-class personalized service only the Blue Rail team can provide. Visit us at BlueRail.net and call 520-822-5128 right now for your free consultation today. So get on board at BlueRail.net. How far do you want to go?
Sports bettors, tired of getting beat every week at your sportsbook? It's time to stop guessing and start winning. We all know cash is king, and it's time to let the team at Double-Digit Covers come to the rescue to help you get the positive cash flow you need to live the life you've always dreamed about. Tony Dosen and his all-star sports handicapping team will be in your corner to help you beat the point spread, bring excitement and winning to your betting experience, and build your bankroll to levels you never thought possible. Get free winning sports information at doubledigitcovers.com. Stop guessing and start winning today at doubledigitcovers.com.
Call now for today's free winner. 1-855-489-2700. That's 1-855-489-2700.
One man, his lucky shirt, an unforgettable night, and a winning streak that never seemed to end. That's how Blind Squirrel began, and we haven't looked back since. We make the clothes that we want to wear for the places where we want to look and feel our best. The game, the speakeasy, and the casino floor. Blind Squirrel's small batch, high-quality gear is for people too busy grabbing life by the nuts to bother with crappy, ill-fitting clothing. Because like you, we prefer our nights long, our drinks strong, and our lucky shirt to be our most comfortable. So look good, be lucky, and visit blindsquirrelapparel.com for your new favorite shirt. As an added bonus, you'll receive 20% off your purchase with the promo code HOKE, H-O-K-E. You can also pick up Blind Squirrel apparel at the Borgata in Atlantic City and in Las Vegas at all Masura stores at Mandalay Bay, Monte Carlo, The Mirage, and MGM Grand. Look good and be lucky with Blind Squirrel apparel.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Then follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show and like our Facebook page at The Mark Hoke Show for show news and outstanding poker content from around the world. Plus, enjoy the show anytime by subscribing to our podcasts on iTunes or at markhokeshow.podbean.com. We're even on your mobile phone at markhokeshow.podbean.com/mobile. Thanks for listening and being a part of The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, let's return to the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back here at the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open. We're live, kids. And just like that, we are very close to the bubble at this point. The board's saying 304. I heard rumors might be at 303. So bubble time is coming up here in the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open main event. We're live here. Of course, this table looks like this table, of course, with being at 314 has been broken. So Russell Thomas and Jason Mercier will be saying goodbye to them as they will be headed elsewhere into this field. It's getting lonely and lonelier on this side of the building already. Once again, listed at 304. And I think we may be at a little bit less. We'll soon grab one of the turn records. The one interesting thing about these great monster headphones, I love these things, and thanks to the World Series of Poker and that media event, putting those up as a bounty, I picked those up. But the great thing about these headphones is I can barely, other than a lot of crowd chatter, I can barely hear what's going on out there. So so we're just keeping our eyes open. And looks like the count's being updated again on the screen right now. I'm actually watching them change it. So hang on there just a second. And we are at 301. So we are on the bubble here in the main event of the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open. One player away from these guys getting paid. And of course, for those that aren't necessarily familiar with the hand-for-hand process, of course, all these players, the dealer tournament director calls out to deal one hand. When your hand's over, the dealer is going to stand up, and they will wait to see if someone does go all in. And now I'm just listening to what's going on. So they're trying to keep the players in their seats right now. But of course, when an all-in hand is declared, they're going to have they're going to hold the action until they can play each one out individually. So then they can determine who ends up being on the bubble here and this is any event. So right now, 301. It just happened like that. And right now we're waiting to see who's going to end up on the short end of the stick on this one. In the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open, it is a $10 million prize pool We can just safely say that it's a $10 million prize pool here. And you can't. It's funny. You have a $5,300 buy-in event, and you get 1,499 players. And I think that in 99% of the cases, you say it's a success. This is awesome. 1,499 players, but unfortunately, with a $10 million guarantee coming up way short, it's going to mar what's otherwise been a sensational series here at the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open. So many great things have been going on. Let's take a look at those payouts, by the way. You can hear a lot of chatter in the room. Sorry, they're making an announcement. Give me 1 second here.
One hand and hold up. Players must remain in their seats at this time. Dealers stand up. Players, if we have an all-in call, do not turn your cards over. We are holding the action at the table. All-in calls, do not turn your cards over.
All right, they're just breaking down for everybody the rules on hand for hand, what the players need to do, stay in areas, not turning their cards over and waiting to run out the action. So once again, 3:01 left here. And here's your payout breakdown. The next 100 players, which is going to make this very interesting over the next couple of hours, 201 to 300 get paid $7,483. So, a typical bubble, because of what happened with this guarantee, usually see, a grouping of about, something like this, you probably see a grouping of maybe a couple hundred, or 30 or 40 players hitting this first payout level. So they're worried about just getting into the money, and then the short stacks start firing. But this is probably going to be even more chaotic because of the fact that we sit at we have 100 players on this first payout level. The next payout level, which is 9,978, that one is 151 to 200. And then you're looking at 100 to 150. You're going to get paid $12,472. So you've got some pretty large groupings as compared to the field size here for these bottom three spots, bottom three payout levels, I should say, going into where we start getting into some of the big money. But some pretty exciting stuff that I think is going to be happening in this room over the next few hours, because with the payout jumps being, not huge, but large. You're looking at, like I said, once again, the first group, 201 to 300 is getting 74.83, and then you have a $25, about a $2,500 pay jump to the next level, 151 to 200. So all these guys, for a lot of players here that paid in 5,300, that extra 2,000 isn't going to make a whole lot of difference to them. So I would expect these next 150 eliminations or so could be pretty wild. All right, so once again, we're hand for hand here at the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open main event. Just keeping an eye on things and waiting to have that bubble burst in this $10 million prize pool event. We're watching for one more player to go down here before we start hearing payout instead of seat open. Always a very exciting moment here in any poker tournament, especially in something like this with so much money on the line. The rest of your payouts, as we slide over the board, 82 through 99, going to get $14,966. 64 through 81, $19,955. 55 through 63 will get $24,944. 46 through 54 pick up $29,933. 34 through 75 will get, or 37 through 45, excuse me, will get $34,921. 28 through 36 get $39,910. 19 through 27 will get $49,888. 16 through 18, $59,865. 13 to 15 will receive $77,326. 10 through 12 will get $99,775. And then, of course, on our official final table, ninth place, $149,663. Eighth place, $199,550. Seventh place, $249,438. Sixth place, $324,269. Fifth, $424,044. Fourth place, $548,763. Third gets $748,313, and we're going to have two more poker millionaires made here this weekend or this week. Second place, $1,047,630. Winner, $1,446,710. And just heard some sort of little whoop in the audience, or in the room here. Is somebody? And we'll see if somebody has gone down. But of course, once again, we're hand for hand here. Players, if they are all in, will not flip their cards over until directed to do so by the tournament staff, so they can keep track of who actually ends up on the bubble, where these guys all break. And you can see a lot of the poker luminaries out here. Adam Levy standing up. Oh, and I apologize, Scotty Wynn's still in the field, so add him to the list of world champions in this event. And just looking around and seeing these guys, hoping that they're going to be part of that $10 million payout here on the money bubble here at the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open. A very, very exciting time here in this tournament. But once again, I think we're going to see a lot of fireworks coming up with the way these payout levels worked out. And of course, everybody here at the media row, except for me, of course, because I got to stay on the air, is out there in the field. They are keeping an eye on things so they can report on this money bubble. And I think, see, Al Can't Hang over there, of course, been kind of spearheading the coverage here on shrpo.com. Al is looking around, trying to see if anybody's in here yet or not. And I'm kind of looking around, seeing if any of the dealers are still seated. Does that would mean their hands still in play? Victor Ramden walking around, making his way back to his seat. But this is, of course, one of the big moments here in this tournament. As a couple days of work is going to get some people some serious money. See Jason Wheeler standing up over here. Jason fought his way back in this tournament and looking to try and put a little more money into his pocket. And of course, a lot of these players may have fired multiple bullets too. So if you think about it, it's going to take them, $20,000+. Let's say you fired 4 bullets in this event. It's going to take $20,000 to get your money back on this, and to get to a $20,000 pay level. Let's say you fired 4 bullets on this, you got to finish top 63 just to make that money back. 64 through 81 are getting $19,955. So 4 bullets at that price, you got to really slide up this prize pool to even to break even on this thing. And it looks like I can see the media and tournament director were gathered around a table over there, so it looks like we could have an all-in over there. The tournament director just telling everybody they got to stay in their seats. They don't want anybody moving around. Of course, one issue that had to be corrected that happens a lot in poker tournaments when they're on the bubble is everybody used to run around and look and see if anybody was all in. Try and find where some short stacks are, keep an eye on things around them so they can monitor that and correct the decisions. But yeah, it does look like. And pictures are being taken over there, so I do believe we have had our bubble. And there's the announcement. We do have the money bubble has been broken here at the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open main event. right, so once again, the announcement's going out. How to handle your payouts and everything, but we have reached the money here at the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open main event. So let the fun begin now. I'm sorry? Yeah. Oh, and Joe Weissman is your bubble. And trying to see that picture here. Oh, this is a nice camera. My goodness. I couldn't quite see the hands there, but King 10. King 10?
Yeah, one of them get a diamond on first king versus pocket queens.
Oh.
Flop comes 3 diamonds, turn diamond, queens busted.
Oh, my goodness. So Weissman busted out with queens against King 10. 4 flushed out of this tournament on the bubble. Ouch. So Joey Weissman is the bubble boy here at the main event in the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open. And now, well, all hell breaks loose. This should be a sensational run through this pay level. But, yeah, so unfortunately, Joe Weissman is your bubble guy here at this Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open main event. All right, so glad we got to hang on for that one. Once again, a huge moment to see Zach Grunberg in the field. He's going to pick up some cash, continue his great 2014. But now we'll see how badly this goes over the next hour or so with 100 players on this next pay level. So, oh, man, I don't know. We'll find out. But I think, so I think we're pretty set here on, hitting this show. We may have some more discussion about the overlay and so on. We'll get some more guests for you. Of course, just taking care of business today here in our morning show. We'll be back at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific time. And by the way, Jake 300, thanks for chipping in the chat box. Do appreciate it. So we will have more here from you from the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open later on tonight. And if you want to continue to follow the blog, you can get more information about the bubble and everything else going on here in the main event at shrpo.com. And, of course, you want to chip in the discussions with everybody. As you can see over my shoulder, SHRPO on Twitter and hashtag SHRPO if you would like to get in on the fun. All right, so we will see you later on tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern time here on the Mark Hoke Show. I want to thank you for being with us, and we'll catch you later on this evening. Have a great afternoon or wherever you are in the world. I know some of you guys may be going to sleep, but we'll see you later on this evening. Have a great night.